Hey, everybody. Welcome to Candid Coach Conversations. I'm Kimberly Boyd, founder of Live Life Fully. And today I want to welcome a very dear friend of mine, Savannah Burke. Savannah, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Tell us a little bit about yourself first.
I started off as I'm a fully licensed LPC supervisor with Kimberly Boyd Counseling Center, and I am also a certified Live Life Fully coach, which I saw your journey into coaching and I knew that I wanted that joy, I wanted that experience, and it just sounds amazing. And then I did it and I was right. It was amazing. I've got chills just talking about it. It has totally changed my life and changed my client's life. I can't say enough good things about it.
Yeah, I actually feel the same way. I love coaching. I say it all the time. I love coaching. I also love the counseling world and the mental health world. And I do think that there is space for both. I am now convinced.
I
Space for
completely
both.
agree.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
So good. So I know recently in one of our coach masterminds, we were talking about time. And
Yes.
so, and when I think about time, I cannot believe how quickly 2026 is going by.
Christmas is next week, right? That's how fast it's going.
Yes,
It's
it's
crazy.
wild to me. And then also with time, I think about, okay, first of all, the year is going by faster. And I also think about how much I love the topic of productivity and time management. It's one of my most favorite topics, probably because it changed my life so much. But I want to hear from you, like your thoughts about time management, what time management means to you. And is it time management or is it managing your time? I don't know. I want to hear from you about that.
I think it's more about, for me, it's more about managing my time because time, we have very limited amounts. We all have the same amount. We all have 168 hours a week. And it's how you manage that time allows you to do the things that you want to do the things that you need to do, and spend time with those that matter the most. What I think is very interesting in what was brought up was how this phone right here sucks up so much of it. And it wasn't until that I became really aware of how much time I'm on mine, how much time my husband is on his, and how much time my daughter is on hers. And when I looked at my tracker, I was horrified and I was like, okay, I've got to get this down because most people spend 5 hours or more on their phone a day. 100 plus. Yes, 200 less or more pickups. Me just picking it up. Your phone didn't make a noise. Your phone didn't ring, but yet we pick it up just to look at the time when we could easily look at a clock or even a watch. The average session someone is on their phone is 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And those add up very quickly.
Mm.
2,600 swipes a day or more. And I'm thinking back in 2020, when right before COVID hit, I did the best thing I could possibly do, and that was get off Facebook.
Yes.
I have since gravitated back towards it somewhat, but I used to find myself between clients, running to my phone, picking it up, and doom scrolling. And when I stopped doing that, I found myself, I was getting my notes done right after my session instead of leaving it to the late afternoon or evening, which was taking time away from my family and taking time away from my friends. But I stopped doing that and I found, wow, I can get everything done that I need to get done. And then I can go home and spend time with my family.
Isn't it wild? It's wild to think a phone, which is so handy. Like
Uh-huh.
I my phone for research.
Right.
And my phone sends me alarms about reminding me of my words, like who do I want to be and how do I want to show up and
Yes.
interact. I love those pieces. Gosh, isn't it wild how often, like you were saying, the number of swipes? I think my brain stopped. I don't know if you said 2,600, 2,800. I think my brain went, that doesn't make sense. But wild that it can take up so much. Like 2 minutes doesn't sound like a lot. However, you're right. I agree. They add up so quickly. And then these little swipes, these little checks, they eat
Mhm.
away at, you were saying, other relationships, like the bleeding over into your other relationships. I think it's just mind blowing and wild.
It is.
Also, Brendan, he talks about a lot about how every time we swipe on social media, it's a judgment. And so
Mhm.
time I ever heard that, I was like, I don't really get it. Well, it is true. Like, you're either deciding, like, you're judging whether or not to like or not like or do anything at all or comment, all of that. And also, what comes up for me is decision fatigue. All those decisions about whether or not to like it or not like it, swipe on or not, click, read more, whatever it is, like
Mm.
all those decisions, in addition to what am I going to wear, what I'm going to have for lunch, what am I going to have for dinner? Do I need to go to the restroom? Am I thirsty?
Yes.
That's like a bazillion decisions a day. No wonder at the end of the day, when your friends or your loved ones or spouse says, "What do you want for eat for dinner?" You're like, I don't care.
Now, no compute. Be kind, rewind. Yes.
Yes.
They say, I think it was Brendan that said this about people owning their day. Was it Brendan? I don't remember where it came from.
I know I definitely say it a lot. Probably got it from him, but I think it's so important. I love owning my day first thing in
Yes.
the morning.
And that's the funny thing is, people sometimes will manage their day. Somewhat successful people will manage their hour. Very or highly successful people will manage each minute, but very successful people own that minute, own that day. And
Yes.
that's what I strive every morning to do. I still take time in the mornings to do my brain teasers to keep my brain sharp and to wake up, and I do my daily fire with Brendan Bouchard on growth day. And while I'm putting my makeup on and doing brushing my teeth, because I always listen to Brendan first so I can take notes and all of that without any distractions. But then I will put on YouTube and I'll listen to things as I'm brushing my teeth and putting my makeup on and getting dressed and all of that. And I have found myself going, "I really wanna like that, but you know what? I'm not going to because dang it, that's not a decision I need to make. I'm just gonna let it roll." And I've become very conscious what I like, what I don't like, and I've stopped making those decisions because I don't need to.
Yeah, that's so good. Another place that pops up in terms of time, as you were talking, what I thought about is my email. That
Mm,
is one thing I had to learn. And I learned this back, I guess, in 2019, is how to manage my day by
mhm,
managing my email differently. So before I ever hired a coach, I was checking my email in between sessions all
mhm.
the time. Like, oh my gosh, does somebody need something? No, no. My gosh. So what I learned to do is I have a scheduled time each day. For me, I do check my email twice a day. So I schedule a time in the morning and I schedule a time in the afternoon. And that's the email checking time. And I see, first of all, had I sent something out to somebody that I'm waiting on a response about, and I'll just search that name. From
That's
there, then I search, I look for people that I know. So maybe it's another coach, maybe it's a therapist, or maybe it's a friend. So I look for names that I know next and I take care of those. I don't always respond right away. I'll glance and see, okay, can this wait till later? And I'll
mhm,
swipe over and put the little flag on it, meaning come back to this one.
right.
But I can't even tell you how much time I have gotten back in my life
Mm,
by changing the way I check my email. I mean,
yes. And I know that Brendan also says you don't wanna do it when you first wake up, so scheduling that time later in the morning, either before you start your day or maybe that's the first thing you do when you get into the office or when you start your day after you've done all of your morning routine and all of that, and then you check it one more time before I'm assuming before you leave the office. That's what I do, is I check it first thing when I get here and then last thing when I leave.
yes.
And
And you know this too, Savannah. Like there's so many studies out there that talk about really owning your day first thing in the morning. So I don't know, all different kind of influencers have their different method, if you will. I personally, I think it's so important to journal in the morning about how you want your day to look. And I do some reading in the morning. I do reading for fun, and then I have my spiritual practice. And then I always want to listen to something motivating, whether it is growth day or a podcast or even motivating music. I love that too to get me going in the morning. And yes, before I get sucked into anyone else's agenda. So I wanna go back to you, and so I guess really what I wanna know is with the time skills and managing your time that you've learned,
Mhm.
you say have been the biggest differences in your life?
Biggest differences in my life, I think, have been the amount of time that I now get to spend with my husband and my daughter in the evenings. We come home, I greet them, have one of those timers that says, how I want to show up when I come in, calm, peaceful, thing. And I open the door and I immediately say hello to my family, unless one of them's not sitting there, and then they come in, then I'll say hello. And I always greet them. I even greet the dog and I sit down and I say, "How was your day?" We talk about that for a few minutes, and then I get up and I walk into the kitchen and I'll cook, but while I'm cooking, we're all still talking, or they're helping me do something, and then we sit down as a family at the dinner table and we catch up, which for me, that is the most important thing, is being able to catch up with my family, because both of the 2 people that I love most in this world are both extremely stressed out right now, and I'm trying to help them find some peace by owning their own time back in the evenings as well.
Well, so it sounds like you're sharing with them what you've learned through coaching
Absolutely.
applied to yourself. Yeah, that's so good. And
Absolutely.
what I'm also hearing, Savannah, is by managing your time differently and spending more time with your family, that you're actually working on your legacy every single day.
I didn't look at it that way, and yes, that is what I'm doing. I am building my legacy.
Yeah, that's
And
so good.
it's starting to show more and more because they're also making different decisions,
Mm,
and it's starting to help them, at least in my eyes, it is starting to help them, and
yeah,
I'm not sure if they realize it just yet, because I noticed a difference.
yeah. Amazing. So I'm curious too. John Gordon talks a lot about energy vampires, and he wrote
Mhm.
the book, The Energy Bus, which I love. So, does anything come up for you when you think about energy vampires and time?
Yes, and I am still guilty of it. I still get on my tablet at night even though I'm with them. I'm always aware, I'm conscious. I don't get on it for as long as I used to. I used to get on it when I first right after dinner, and I would stay on it until bedtime. Now, I'll get on it for about 30 minutes and then I'll put it down. It is still a time suck though. Time
Yeah, but I'm
spent.
wondering, it sounds like though that you've made that a part of your evening routine to where maybe it's not sucking the energy out of you, but maybe it is replenishing by you getting some downtime.
This is true.
So
This
with that, I love that and the difference in that you brought up sucking time, because what if it's about setting the intention? Like, I am going to look at my tablet for 30 minutes as a time of replenishing my energy,
Mhm.
even if it's doom scrolling. Although I don't know if doom scrolling and energy, I don't know. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But if you set that, what you're going to do for the 30 minutes, then maybe it's not.
I guess it's not, because I do set intentionally that time limit so that way I am not ignoring my family or anything like that. But we like to play trivia together, or we do Mario Kart, and we have a lot of fun together now in the evenings.
Oh, I love that. That's so good and so important.
Whereas it used to be my husband would go upstairs and my daughter would be in her phone, and so I was kinda like, "Okay, well, I guess I'll be on my phone," but we're spending more time together, and it's amazing.
That's great.
Planning out that time and saying, "Okay, we're gonna be intentional about this,"
Mm,
giving my family back to me, which is what I which is what I've always wanted. That's the reason I decided to go into coaching and to become a coach, is to help others find their happiness and reach their full potential again.
yes, same. I want every person to live life fully for
Yes,
yes.
absolutely. I am 100% with you. 100% with you. I'm here to help you make that dream come true.
Yes. Oh my gosh, so good. Well, so Savannah, if you had to tell everybody in the audience, like one thing you want them to take away from today, what would it be?
Be intentional with your time. Sit down, plan out your day, plan out your leisure time as well. Take things in 20-minute increments if that's what you need to do, especially if you're having to tackle something big. Plan it out. 20 minutes, set a timer. Do that thing for 20 minutes, and then you're done. If you choose to set another timer, you choose to set another timer, and make sure, though, it's not going to take away from anything else. And be be honest with yourself. I'm going to stick to this and see just how amazing, how much more time you actually get back. It will blow your
Mhm.
mind. It will blow
It will
your
blow your mind, you're right.
'cause then you're gonna be like, "Okay, well, now I've done everything, now what? Oh my
Right.
gosh. I have free time? What is that? That's crazy."
Mhm. And
Free
so
time.
exciting to think about, to have more time.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Awesome. Well, Savannah, I'm so glad you joined us today, and I do hope that you will come back and share some more insight at another time, but I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate you having me on. It was great talking with you. I miss your beautiful face in person, and I can't wait to see you soon.
All right. And thank you again, everybody, for joining Candid Coach Conversations. Until next time, we're wishing you a beautiful day.